Welcome guys, so this is my third Dominaria United quick draft. Let's just get it started. So far I went 7-1 with Boros tokens and 0-3 with Is It spells. Let's just change the deck layout, that's better, I prefer this one. So we have the World spell here. It's quite ambitious, I would say, going for this one, but I am drafting for my collection, as they say, so we're grabbing this, but we're still going to sort of have a think about what we actually want to play. So we've got some uncommons in this one. Relic of Legends gives you a bit of mana ramp, and legendaries can ramp out. It can help you ramp stuff out. And there are a few legendary creatures in the set. There's Zarajan, and I don't know. I guess ideally you want some cheap legendaries. It actually works quite well with Zarajan because when he gets tapped, all he needs to do is get tapped to put counters on things. So Zarajan's pretty cool. This would be definitely a domain deck if we went for this guy. You can pump up your small creatures based on your domain score, basically. Well, they'll get a +1/+1 if your domain is higher than their toughness. There's also just this straightforward line breaker Baloth, which is just a good creature with a decent evasion ability. Right, look at the other cards here. See if there are any commons that are amazing. Actually, I do see one. Well, Talas Lookout's pretty good. It's a 3/2 flyer that actually replaces itself when it dies. That's really good. But we have Extinguish the Light, which is a pretty good removal card. Quite a heavy commitment to black, so it'll be double black, so it's a choice between, big creature or decent removal spell. I think we take Extinguish the Light here. Okay, Leaf Crown Visionary is a rare. We are rare drafting, we're taking this guy. Happens to be in green. And an elf, so I don't know if this is playable. I don't know if there are enough, if there's enough elf support in the set for this to work. But if you do have other elves, they can help you draw cards. We're gonna keep an eye out for elves, I think. If we're going a bit green, I think Mossbeard Ancient is not bad. I mean, it's expensive. It's committing us to a bit of ramp, I would say. We're going to definitely need ramp to get these things out. Yeah, I want to cast the World spell, I think. I think I want to play this, definitely. Which means going for ramp, which means Scout the Wilderness is probably what we want to go for. It does have white in the kicker cost. So maybe we want to take Scout the Wilderness before we take another target for another big creature. Frostfist Stride is quite good. Can't really go for a double white removal card. So I think it's between Scout the Wilderness and Mossbeard Ancient here. This is an uncommon. I think maybe we'll see more ramp cards later. We might not see another Mossbeard Ancient. I think I like this. I think this card is good enough to pick early. I've just had maybe a bad experience. I've gone 0-3 and I've lost to big creature decks each time. So now, now I'm pivoting and I'm overvaluing big creatures a little bit, perhaps. But well, we'll see how we get on. Now, just remember we're looking for ramp. Joda's Codex is a nice card draw thing if you're doing domain. We might be doing a bit of white mana. We definitely want to keep this black removal card though. Actually, of course, the Bog Badger has a black kicker, so that fits very well. Tainted Apparition is just a very good finisher for just sort of going black-green. Bog Badger is equally a good finisher because it gives everything menace, so there are good arguments for these two. We've got a heavy commitment to black, so we're going to have a lot of swamps in the deck, so Tattered Apparition will probably be pretty good. Okay, let's grab a Tattered Apparition. I actually drafted 2 of these in the previous draft, and I never played black, so it feels like I've got unfinished business here. Okay, Runner's Vortex is good removal, but it's blue. Another Tattered Apparition, another Bog Badger. Well, that's interesting. And then there's a Haunted Mire, which is a perfect mana fixing card for the deck. I think I'm quite tempted by Haunted Mire here. I don't think anything will come back around to me because it's. I'll take one, and there's of course. Oh no, one card will come back to me. We could gamble and hope it's Haunted Mire and take one of the creatures. Okay, let's take the Bog Badger. Fingers crossed we'll get the land we want. Slimefoot Survey is a ramp card, but it costs 5. Five mana ramp card. But there's a good black removal card here. Bone Splinters. There's also Battle Rage Blessing. Do we have creatures we could sacrifice? We've forgotten to look for elves as well. Even the Juniper Root Weaver sounds like an elf, but is actually a human druid. Let's take Bone Splinters here. Okay. Well, the card that's been kicking my ass is Elfhame Wurm. Just see this in practically every deck. So let's take it. Broken Wings. Or blue-green land. I feel like more likely to play this than the Broken Wings. Meteorite is also mana fixing, it's quite expensive. But we are trying to get to 7 mana, so it makes Meteorite a little bit more playable. We're sort of assuming at some point we're going to get lots of ramp to make all these expensive spells make a bit of sense. Shield Wall Sentinel as well. Let's go for a Meteorite. Seems crazy, but why not? Okay, Relic of Legends made it back round. That is a nice bit of ramp. Do we have any legendaries yet? That would make it even better. Okay, there's also another Bog Badger. Let's take Relic of Legends. Let's try and ramp with that. Let's mana fix with a mana worker. And then we've got another 2-drop, so... Okay, it's a nice creature, this one, but let's take a land, which we probably won't use, but... Pixie Illusionist, yes, maybe. Let's sideboard that. Sideboard that. Okay, cool. Cruelty of Gix, an actual relevant black card that's going to be pretty darn good. Fantastic. Very happy to see it. It's my first one. There's Tear Asunder. That's the other black-green card that's really good. Yes, I think there can't possibly be anything as good as that. Yeah, let's take that. Okay, we've got Cult Conscript. Now, this is a good thing to sacrifice to Bone Splinters, so that is one argument in favour of this guy. And it's a turn 1 drop as well. It's quite aggressive. Nail is a really good domain card. Needs blue. We might be doing a bit of splashing. Well, I guess I always hate to see Nail on the opposite side of the board. I know how oppressive it is, but I think I'm not sure I'm going for a full domain deck. We've also got more removal down here. We've got bite down, so you need a creature. So it's one of these punch cards. Could be good. I think I like the Cult Conscript, though. Another Cult Conscript, for one. It could be pretty aggressive having a couple of those. Monstrous Warleech can do a bit of self-mill if you have blue mana. Highest mana value in graveyard. We have some big mana values, so this could be a 7/7 for 4 mana. Sort of interesting, but it's quite... you're rolling the dice a bit with this card. Don't know if I want to do that. It's a good 2-drop. 3/2 for 2. Lose 2 life. Herbal Repossession brings creature back. But there's also Scout the Wilderness. We keep talking about ramp. So far we've got Relic of Legends, Meteorite. Maybe we need more ramp. I like getting a second Cult Conscript though. That seems quite aggressive. I do like Herbal Repossession as well. Yeah, I want a second Cult Conscript. And a cut down. Another Mossbeard Ancient. Tempting, but I don't think I can get away with that really. Cut down. Is cut down good in this format though, where everyone's just playing Elfhame Wurms? Phyrexian Rage is good. That draws you a card. And that's only 3 mana. But I think probably supposed to pick the cut down here. Let's take cut down. Okay, gibbering barricade. I don't really give this much thought, but let's look at it. Sacrifice a creature, gain 1 life and draw a card. So it's a card draw engine with our Cult Conscript, I suppose. The Vivisector is a nice 2-drop. We've got to think about these early creatures. We are a bit weak in the 2-drop slot, I think. And we don't know I don't know if I want to play Leafcrown Visionary just because it's double green. It's very hard to cast, and if there's no other elves in the deck, it's pretty useless. It's a 1/1 for 1. For 2 rather. It's a 1/1 for 2. But I better start taking more ramp. I better start taking Scout the Wilderness. Vivisector's pretty good. there's definitely a sacrifice kind of idea going on here as well. So do I go for ramp or do I go for these sacrifice things? Okay, I think the Vivisector's pretty good. Barricade is quite mana intensive. It's quite sort of combo-y. I think this is just quite a good grizzly bear. I think I need some more 2-drops. I think. Okay, then we've got sort of nothing here. Take guys, my Shoulders Restoration. Let me think about how am I going to discard a card? Discard a Mossbeard Ancient and reanimate it. This is a very good point. I have not thought about discarding cards at all. I do like the Battlefly Swarm as well, but we'll take the Restoration. Fingers crossed we can figure out a way of discarding some cards. Pilfer. Targets opponent. Gibbering Barricade, Toxic Abomination. So I do like Pilfer. That does seem pretty good. But Gibbering Barricade would be part of a kind of sacrifice combo that might be pretty good. But I think Pilfer's a stronger card, and it's a good 2-drop. It's a good thing to do on turn 2. I think if this is a big creature environment. Scout the Wilderness. Good. Let's finally get some ramp. We don't want any of these really. Toxic Abomination. We'll play it if we have to. Aggressive Sabotage. Sure. Not keen on this card. I'll sideboard it. Okay, we have a Haughty Djinn. I am red drafting that. And let's red draft. Let's sideboard the beachfront, and we've got 22 cards, so we're 1 card off a deck here. So another Shivan Reef. I keep seeing these. I've already got 4 of them. I think I've seen 2 more in the last 3 drafts now. Okay, Sengir Connoisseur, definitely a nice big flyer. Battlefly Swarm, a nice small flyer, I think. This does seem pretty good. We'll just, I think we look at the mana curve to decide what we want here. Yeah, we're doing quite well in 1 and 2 drops. You generally want 2 1-drops. 7 2s, then it's 6 3s, 4 4s, 3 5s, and 1 6. So, arguably, we've got enough big things in the deck. But this goes really well with sacrifice effects. Yeah, I don't think I can resist a Sengir Connoisseur here. Red. I don't think we're splashing for red. Battle Rage Blessing. It's nice. But we've got Phyrexian Rager, Urborg Repossession, Bog Badger, Mana Worker. You know what? I'm not seeing any elves. I think we want to replace Leaf Crown Visionary. So this should be a more realistic view of what we've got. We don't even have very many 3-drops, so I think the Rage is looking pretty good here. Okay, it's going to throw another Sengir Connoisseur at me, but look at our 5-drops. We've got Elfhame Wurm already, Meteorite, Cruelty of Gix, Sengir Connoisseur. So maybe we're doing alright in that department, and we don't need... Unless we're sort of replacing Elfhame Wurm with a Sengir Connoisseur. Aggressive Sabotage, Meteorite, Scout the Wilderness... So there's quite a few ramp cards that maybe we should be thinking about. Vine Wall as well is quite good sacrifice fodder and helps you just make your land drops rather than ramp things out. So that I like that. That does double duty. I think it might be... It feels like it might be greedy going for another Sengir Connoisseur here. But it's very tempting indeed. But this gives you sort of early game consistency and helps you hit land drops. I think we have to have one of these. So yeah, actually we're at 24 cards now. And Vivisector's another good 2-drop, I think. Animal Stalker could be a 1-drop, and Snare Spinner could stop a small flyer or a 3/3 flyer. That's quite tempting. That's like an extra removal card. Or you just go for another Vivisector. I think I'm not a fan of Toxic Abomination, just because sometimes you're literally on 2 life trying to top deck a chump blocker. So I think and we're maybe going a bit for late game a little bit here rather than... Well, we've got the early Cult Conscripts. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that, so let's drop that. Gaia's Might isn't the most amazing card in this deck as well. And we do... How much do we have against flyers? I would say not that much, so I think Snare Spinner's pretty good here. Okay, I do see a good one. It's the Deathbloom Gardener, so that's doing ramp and acting as a good blocker. Okay, Tattered Apparition or Gibbering Barricade. The apparition seems much more aggressive. I think let's try that. See if we might be able to fit it in the deck. Battlefly Swarm, that is a good 1-drop, I think. Eerie Soul Tender can bring something back. Potentially we're milling a big creature into the graveyard. That's definitely one argument for this. I like Battlefly Swarm quite a lot though. I'm going to grab that. Another Deathbloom Gardener. That is nice, getting some nice late ramp. Right. I think there's nothing here, isn't there? Yeah, we just take an uncommon. Battle Rage Blessing, maybe we use it. There's a barricade, or yeah, or another Scout the Wilderness. We've done quite well actually for ramp now. If we just count up, I think we can afford to drop the meteorite, to be honest. There's one less 5 drop in the deck, I think is quite a good idea. And we need to try and find the right balance. Yeah, I think I'd go for the ramp spell here. I might not use it, but gives me more options. Right. And interestingly, talking of elves, this is the other elf, I guess, in the set. So potentially you could play the Leaf Crown Visionary. I don't think it's worth it for having 2 other elves. Yeah, there's literally 2 other ones. I think the other one is the Vine Shaper Prodigy, the blue the green 2/2 with a blue kicker. Usually drop combat tricks first. Pilfer. Right, I might drop things that sort of could turn out to be not very useful. So cut down Pilfer. Try and keep the core of the deck. What does the yeah? Right, yeah, I think that's a good start. I think I'll just call that end of part 1 there, and have a bit of a think about that. It seems crazy to take out Cut Down, but this is a reaction to losing to 3 big creature decks in a row. I think every removal spell has to be able to deal with Elfhame Wurm, which is actually a good argument for Battle Rage Blessing. Let's put that back in. Give myself a more difficult decision. Yep. Anyway, I'll call that. Yeah, I will call that end of part 1 and have a think. So thanks for watching so far. And I'm back. Right. So I've made a few changes to the deck, and I've really agonised over getting it down to 40 cards and what to include and what to leave out. So I've decided you've got to think about what the main thing I want to do in the deck is, and I decided I really want to cast the World Spell and Mossbeard Ancient. I've got these 2 7-drops, and to that end, I've decided to play all of my ramp cards, with the exception of Meteorite. Meteorite's a little bit expensive, so in the 3 slot we've got Relic of Legends, 2 Scout the Wilderness, 2 Deathbloom Gardener. I'm including the Vine Wall in the 2-drop slot, so this can help me make my land drops as well, which is also important. Phyrexian Rager draws a card as well. That's also good for making land drops and things. we've got a selection of big creatures here. I've kept about 3 removal spells, so I've got Extinguish the Light, Tear Asunder, and Bone Splinters. So just 3 removal, but these can kill anything. Because I'm more worried about big creatures. I'm more worried about killing Elfhame Wurm, really. So I've not actually included Cut Down, just because this is just a metagame decision. I just don't. These most recent games I've had have all been about big creatures. I might regret this. I might sort of run into lots of small flyers, and then I'll miss the Cut Down. But I mean, you got to make decisions one way or the other. Battle Rage Blessing could be quite good. I've left it out, but just because it's a combat trick, so somebody else could have instant speed removal spell, and you could lose a 2-for-1. That's the risk with this card. You need a blocking interaction as well, if so it's less good when they've got evasion that you can't deal with. That's the disadvantage of this card. But it is good. It could kill an Elfhame Wurm. But so it's tough to leave this out. I thought a lot about Phyrexian Vivisector. This was in the deck for a long time. I think the best deck for this is something that's a dedicated sacrifice deck. So you've got control over your creatures dying and when you're getting to scry. Most of the time, my creature's going to die because they're chump blocking in this deck. We have 1 sacrifice outlet. We've got 1 Bone Splinters. So I thought, at the end of the day, this is a grizzly bear. It can help me scry a little bit. It's quite good. It's quite a good card. But I decided I'd rather have a salvaged mana worker. So this has got 3 toughness. It can fix mana, which could be relevant for my kickers, my Scout the Wilderness kicker, Sheoldred's Restoration kicker. So I decided, yeah, that's what I'd rather do. The mana curve's a bit bad. You usually want a few more 2-drop creatures. You want sort of 7 2-drops, 6 3-drops. So we are a ramp deck, so I've skewed a little bit towards the top end here. We've got all these ramp cards in the 3-drop slot here. But we also have maybe a couple of extra things in the 1-drop slot. We've got Battlefly Swarm and 2 Cult Conscripts, so we can sort of sometimes get an early start. Because we've got 1-drop black creatures, the extra land is going to be the swamps. So we've got 9 swamps and 8 forests, so usually want 9 black sources to play 1-drop black creatures consistently. So that's what we're going for there. The other thing that was very tough to drop was the second Tattered Apparition, and the argument here is I'm running Cruelty of Gix, which can search my library for a card, so I think it's nice to have maybe 1 each of your big things. Maybe we don't need 2 Tattered Apparitions, so that's the reasoning there. So I ended up dropping this for the Relic of Legends. I decided I want to keep all 5 of the 3-drop ramp spells. So that's that's my decision there. And I've left out Pilfer. I quite like this card. Difficult to leave this one out. It's sort of this could also take an Elfhame Wurm out of my opponent's hand potentially, but I'm focusing on other things. I'm keeping things like Snare Spinner, so this is my concession to small flyers. This can sort of help deal with those if that is a problem. Yeah, and I never play aggressive sabotage, and I don't like a toxic abomination, so those were easy things to cut. Yeah. So yeah, some difficult decisions there. So I'll go with this. See how it goes, and we might go on to make more changes. I'm just hoping this deck's interesting. Yeah, it might be another 0-3, but I'm prepared. I'm prepared for it. Okay, well that's worked out quite well. We've got swamps in the opening hand and 1-drop creatures. Vine Wall for turn 2, and then we can ramp on turn 3 potentially if we want. So let's keep that one, and I'm going first as well. See if we can overwhelm my opponent with an aggressive start here. One little issue is I decided I wanted the 9 swamps and the 8 forests, so there was no room for a plains, so I can't find a plains with Scout the Wilderness. And we're top decking land. There's no need for the Vine Wall here. I think we can follow up with the Swarm. There's a Vine Wall. Okay. Yeah, so it's a mirror matchup, but he's playing blue in his deck. We keep hitting land. So already at 5 land, this gets us to 6, this probably finds land number 7 as well. So then we'll be able to cast everything in the deck. I'm going to, I think, Scout the Wilderness now, just dig a land out of the deck. The theory being, actually no. Right. I've just had a thought. So this puts a bunch of random cards on the bottom of the library, and sometimes it can be, you can be very unlucky with the Vine Wall and put all your important stuff on the bottom. Scout the Wilderness will let me actually, for example, Senged Connoisseur, World Spell, Tattered Apparition are all going on the bottom of the deck. We want to shuffle the deck basically, so. Oh, gibbering barricade. So he's gone for the definitely gone for a defender strategy there. No white for the big important defender card though. Okay, we've got to Sheoldred's Restoration. That's interesting. We'll have to just attack with a 1/1 now for a while. And we're going to Scout the Wilderness and just ramp. Keep ramping. Let's get a forest this time. And end the turn. Let's see if something big happens. Yes, yes it does. Oh dear. Well, he has Sheoldred on turn. Is that turn 4 or did he miss a... No, I got an extra land because... Okay, well... Interesting. We have the World Spell. And we can cast it next turn, so... Mission accomplished. Battlefly Swarm, I think, stays back so we can block Sheoldred. I don't want to chump block and sort of lose blockers. I'm not keen on that. So, and at the moment he's winning the race, and I want to keep my my board state. Okay, he does have white. Let's see if he has... I see he's got the kicked Scout the Wilderness. Nice. I don't think we're reading ahead with the World Spell. The only problem with this one, of course, it finds permanence. So potentially it's putting all of my removal spells on the bottom of the deck. But that is just something we'll have to put up with. However, if we do get a nice creature, a nice big creature, we can bring it, and it gets killed, we can bring it back, so that's quite good. There is the Cruelty of Gix. Okay, we can hit anything. World spell this turn. Cruelty of Gix this turn. We want to find Mossbeard Ancient, I suppose. That's going to help us a lot. Yeah, let's cast the world spell this turn. Let's do it from turn 1. We've got 16 life points. Oh my goodness, there was absolutely nothing. So, yeah, our 2 removal spells go on the bottom of the deck, which is unfortunate. Let's get Relic of Legends, and then we can actually use white mana, which could be useful. Cruelty of Gix gets me a removal spell, by the way. I've just sort of clicked and realised that we might need to do that, to be honest, because, you know, getting a 2-point drain life every turn isn't ideal. Okay, that's my 3rd removal spell, which is going on the bottom. You give everything menace. We can have another Death Toucher. We can have something that draws me a card. Okay, I like drawing a card when there's Sheoldred in play. Well, we've got the white mana. We don't need any more ramp. I'm gonna draw a card with this guy. This is kind of good, but yeah. More card advantage, please. We could play Cruelty of Gix next turn for free. By the way, 2 non-saga permanent cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Right, there's quite a variety of options here. I think Cruelty of Gix. And he's going to Shadow Prophecy, okay. In response, that's interesting. We're going to have 2 mana left over, so we could do... Do we want to kill Sheoldred straight away? Do we want to be greedy? Let's be greedy. He had nothing. Okay. Fair enough. Let's play a forest. Let's not play anything, because we're probably going to world spell some things next turn. No attacks, and end turn. Okay. He's got his whole sacrifice engine going. He's not attacking, right. Over to my turn. This is getting complicated. Right. Two life down. Okay. Cruelty of Gix. I would like to search for something first. It looks like I need a removal spell, to be honest. I'm getting a couple of things into play for free, so how about we only want to destroy it so we can reanimate it. Yeah, I'm going to go Extinguish the Light. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't want to play Phyrexian Rager. Let's do Relic of Legends and Deathbloom Gardener. I don't want to take 2 more damage. I draw a card. Okay, let's Extinguish the Light. He's got protection for it. Oh no, of course he's going to sacrifice it. Yeah, that makes sense. And we're going to play a Phyrexian Rager. Lose another life point. And we might have to discard a card. Let's hold the forest. Do we swing in with a Battlefly Swarm? That seems to make sense. Yes. Anyway, this is what I'm up against here is a very different deck, I would say. Oh, he's got a Restoration, Baltic Bone Rattle. Wow, okay. So he could have another reanimation spell for Sheoldred. We'll just have to see. We might regret not exiling Sheoldred. But he has to have... We've recently looked at his hand. He has to have literally top decked that in the last 3 cards. I mean, it's quite possible. And then he gets another card and another card. So he's, you know, if he's looking for that reanimation spell, he could be quite lucky here. Okay, there's Nael. That's a very good card. Weather Seed Treaty. So good. I don't think he has the reanimation spell. We may be in luck. Let's have... there's also Baltic Bone Rattle. But let's have Sheoldred. On balance. Seems good. Have I got anything big to reanimate? No. No. And do I want to play a land? Yes. I'm going to go ahead and play a land. And we can't attack particularly. We could swing in with a Deathbloom Gardener. And it would trade off with something. Yes, let's swing in with a Death Touch. We probably won't regret this. I hope we won't. 1 damage. There you go. Boom. So something's going to get pumped pretty seriously. So that is a lot. Oh yeah, this is a discard. This is why we're holding a land. I hope he doesn't have 2 discard spells. Now I'm thinking I'm stupid for playing that land. Okay, another Shadow Prophecy. It costs him 2 life. You don't draw the card, you just put it in your hand so it doesn't trigger Sheoldred. Oh look, he had another one going to the graveyard. Okay. He has 11 cards left in his deck. Urborg Repossession. Oh nice. To get that back... Does he have the mana to recast it? It's 3 mana, he's got 2 mana available, it looks like. And then he can mill me to death with Coral Colony. Yeah, that's coming out, okay. I like it. He's on 11 cards, I'm on 19, but this is number of creatures you control with Defender. He's got 4, he can mill me for 4 every round. That's going to kill me pretty quickly, I think. Quicker than Sheoldred's going to kill him. Interesting game we've got ourselves into here, got to say. That's helpful. Right. So, one little problem. Right, got 9, 10. We do have white. We can do 8 mana worth of stuff. I'm simply going to sacrifice Phyrexian Rager and bring it back with the restoration, cause he's playing this next turn, and I have to discard. So that's my reasoning there. Right. Okay, let's do this first. Bone Splinters. Get rid of the Coral Colony. That's definitely going to kill me. Sacrifice Phyrexian Rager. Let's Sheoldred's Restoration, because it's going to get discarded anyway. Bring back Phyrexian Rager. And it's even a card I can actually play that's not going to get discarded. That's pretty sweet. Okay, let's go to combat. I think Deathbloom Gardener can go in. Sheoldred can swing in, because he's only got 4 power of blockers, actually. Now I think about it. But he can hit me for a big chunk here. I don't have the black mana to give the Swarm Death Touch. Oh yeah, he gets to do that, so he gets to bring back his Coral Colony, so we've only slowed that down a little bit. Oh no, yeah, he does Bone Rattle to bring... yeah. He just chains together all of his reanimation. And we need our other removal spell. We've only got 1 more left in the deck. So I think we're still in a bit of trouble here. I didn't actually think about Braid's Fire for a turn. That's a pretty serious amount of reanimation he's got in this deck. It's quite insane. I didn't read this card at all. Yeah, I should have. I've got to wait for him to use all his raised dead effects and then use the removal spell. I suppose that was the correct play. Okay, so potentially we have a big flyer here. That could get some things done. Ball took Bone Rattle, so he can definitely kill Sheoldred. Now, I'm going to just swing with a Deathbloom Gardener, of all things. Sheoldred is tapped, okay. Okay, oh, trading off so he can recycle this. Makes sense. And there's going to be a lot of defender things here. It's 5 cards he can mill. I can sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent. Okay. Let's get rid of the Cult Conscript, because it shouldn't be too hard to actually bring him back. Another defender, oh god, so that's 6 mil he's going to do. Oh, another defender, right. So yeah, the defender deck, it doesn't actually even need the that card, and we'll see if we lose our last removal card. Yes, we did. We lost Tear Asunder. We're milled to death in 2 turns. He's got 1 flying blocker, Is that right? No, it's got Clockwork Drawbridge. So yeah, that can just take out Tattered Apparition, basically. Darn. Yeah. Nice deck, gotta say. Yeah. Okay, my turn. Sane Connoisseur, I guess, is another big flyer. I'm going to go ahead and play this pre-combat. Let's tap some green. So I don't miscount when I'm potentially pumping a Tattered Apparition. Sheoldred is tapped, okay. So this can be pumped to 4/4. Okay, let's try pumping this up. That'll pump the Connoisseur as well. We've got sort of 8 damage in the air, but he's obviously tapping something down with a colony, which means it will not be lethal, unfortunately. That gets him down to 8. Another drawbridge. Is he going to get enough defenders out? He can just one-shot me. Yeah, he is. Good game. Well, there you go. Coral Colony got me in game 1. Did not expect that to happen. But yeah, it's the defender deck, I suppose. It's I was expecting to run into this at some point. I was expecting to die to lots of 1/1 bird tokens, but it does have other win conditions, as it turns out. Okay, let's decline. See if you can get him to draw 2 more cards. No. Interesting. So he had a Sheoldred as well, which we managed to steal eventually. Kill and then steal. Very different experience from the playing against big creatures. Yeah, mill deck. So obviously I could put in more cards to help me against the mill decks, but what would kill a coral colony is a good question. Meteorite wouldn't do it. Pilfer could take it out of the hand. He would never block with it, so that this would be no good. Cut down, funnily enough, would actually kill coral colony. So that is an argument for cut down. What would we drop? What puts me off about cut down? It doesn't kill that Nael Avizoa Aeronaut, because she's 2/4. And you're going to see that quite a lot. It doesn't kill the big creatures. But possibly I'm slightly overreacting here to one game. We actually had quite a fun game there. We got to cast World Spell, and Cruelty of Gix, and reanimate a Sheoldred with Cruelty of Gix and still lose. So I think I'm happy. Entertaining game. Maybe I should play Cut Down. Is what I'm thinking here. I've even got a Coral Colony myself. And do I cut a Cult Conscript? Because arguably, maybe I'm not, a big aggro deck. Maybe just one of these. Have 2 1-drop creatures, and yeah. If you are aggro, you want all the Cult Conscripts. But we're playing Floriferous Vine War. We're not the most aggressive deck. Maybe 1 conscript is the right amount. And we'll just try Cut Down and see if it is good. Pilfer's tempting as well, to just mess up my opponent's plans a little bit. The Salvaged Mana Worker I could drop, because if I'm playing Relic of Legends, maybe I don't need as many sort of ways to make white mana. Okay, let's have a bit more interaction. Let's go for the Pilfer instead of the Mana Worker. It probably means I'm a bit weaker against the aggro decks, but that is not so much what we're facing, I would say. Yeah, that's going to be my alteration there. A bit more interaction. We're going to respect our opponent's victory conditions and try and deal with them a bit better. Alright, we have a couple of 3-drop ramp spells. We have a 4-drop removal spell. Let's keep this one. A 4-land opening hand is good, I think, for this deck. Drawing more land. Wanting Figment. I think we'll go Deathbloom Gardener first. So if you cut, so it's the blue-red spells deck. It looks like quite a fast start. This could be 2 damage every turn. He's going to tap that down. Okay, so I can't extinguish the light next turn. He's got 1 red mana, so a kicked Tear Asunder on this. That's what I'm thinking, and then I've got Elfhame Wurm next turn. And then I've still got removal. It's just going to buy me a bit more time. He looks... I feel like blue-red's quite fast and aggressive. Okay. Bit more land. We've got 5 mana. Let's go for the worm. Battlewing Mystic. Discarded his hand there. Essence Scatter, Academy Wall, Joint Exploration. Okay, and he gets 2 cards in response. Okay. Now, interestingly, these guys can double block and kill the worm. And I think I'm quite happy with that outcome. Okay, doesn't block. Relic of Legends gives me access to Extinguish the Light. Tainted Apparition's not going to be very impressive because we just don't have black mana. I believe I can take 2 damage from this guy. So I'm going to play my Tainted Apparition now. So my blue-red deck ran into big creature decks and struggled, so we'll just see what this guy can do. He's got, yeah, Tolarian Gaze is a nice one. Yeah, so yeah, he's asking the question, do I want to trade a potentially good card? You know what? I don't have much black mana. I'm going to trade it for the Battlewing Mystic, which is just an annoying flyer. Because I've got plenty of other threats in the deck. I've even got Cruelty of Gix. So at the moment, the Gardener can trade with Voda. I could Cruelty of Gix now. Maybe, yeah, because maybe I've got time to do Cruelty of Gix. He may have another way of dealing with the worm. So let's do this. Look at his 3 cards, and so it's creature or planeswalker though this gets rid of, so it may not hit anything. But it lets me know what he's got in his hand, which is always nice. Haunting Figment. He has Fires of Victory. Okay, good hit, I would say. I think that was worth doing. He doesn't have an Essence Scatter, which is good. And I will block like that. Search your library for a card. Is it Mossbeard Ancient by any chance? Or is it the World Spell? Yeah. We did it. We actually got a win. So, first win in 5 games. Feels good. But yeah, he discarded 3 cards to draw 2 with his little flyer. He discarded an Essence Scatter. So I would question that decision, but I think, yeah, I may have had, possibly had the Elfhame Wurm at that point, so he was looking for removal for that. So that's maybe quite reasonable. I'm going to stick with the changes that I've made there. So anyway, that's an example of a deck with cut down targets. So I think that could be a good choice, I guess. Cruelty of Gix in opening hand. We have Vine Wall to get land number 4. Deathbloom Gardener to get ramp. This could be turn 4 Cruelty of Gix. I think this is a good hand. Get land number 4 anyway. Splatter Goblin. Okay. Okay, so Snare Spinner. Well, this is black-red, so it's going to be fast. It's going to do a lot of damage. I'm thinking I want to trade Snare Spinner for this guy. Even if it means Cruelty of Gix comes out a turn later. And they both die, but that's fine. Third land, and he has the Rager. Okay. interesting. We have a cut down. So, actually I could do Relic of Legends cut down. So I'm still ramping. I've still got Cruelty of Gix, turn 4. And I'm preserving my life total, which seems good. Oh, that's a good one. But it's 2 more creatures, okay. Fair enough. We'll do a... We're going to take a bit of damage next turn. We'll play Cruelty of Gix and try and get rid of a follow-up creature. Oh wow, he has the Raven Man. Opponents can't gain life. Knight of Dusk's Shadow is annoying. So he can make me discard with this. He can play a Raven Man. Raven Man can make me discard as well. I'm not sure I like not being able to gain life. That sounds horrible. Difficult decision. My gut is saying Knights of Dusk's Shadow is even nastier than Raven Man. Because I want to gain life, basically, to try and outlast his deck, outlast his aggro. And I'm about to lose 3 life to my own card here. So just recap, we've got 5 mana, 6 mana with a forest. We could do Vine Wall and a kick to Tear Asunder to take out the Raven Man, so it's not a sorcery spell. What is scarier here? And we could probably get a Mossbeard Ancient next turn, which would be pretty good. Shall we shoot? Yeah, we'll shoot for Mossbeard Ancient here. 3 life, that hurts. We've got, we'll have to discard something, probably. Probably Tattered Apparition gets discarded. There's a swamp. We could maybe discard a swamp. He might Lightning Bolt our Gardener. He doesn't know I've got Mossbeard Ancient. He's got stuff I can reanimate. So we have 7 mana right now. Now he can't use Lightning Strike. He's not got the mana for it. What's he sacrificing here? Because I could sacrifice. I can. There goes the Battlefly Swarm. Okay, that's a load off my mind. So let's count this up again. 5, 6, 7. So I'm not gonna, unless he's got a cut down for the Deathbloom Gardener. I feel pretty silly if he does, but I'm gonna discard the Swamp. Okay, opponents can't gain life. He's very unlikely to gain life. That's a nice pump thingamy. That just draws me a card. That's quite good. And there's Snare Spinner to block his little birds. Yes. Yeah, let's go for a little defensive measure here. Do we keep the forest for hit? You know, he's inevitably going to. Yeah, let's do that. We'll hold a forest for the purposes of discarding potentially. Because yeah, he's got the Raven Man to make me discard. Let's not forget that one. So it feels like we're doing all right, but you know he's black-red. He can have removal for Mossbeard Ancient. He's got the Raven Man in play, which is going to be annoying. But I've got enough mana at the moment to play everything in my deck, so I'm hopefully going to just empty my hand and have nothing to discard. But second game in a row, no, not second game in 3 where we've seen Braid's frightful return. Oh, that's rough. Okay, we will lose our Tattered Apparition. Pretty brutal. He's going to get another little bird. This is obviously going to get discarded anyway. Let's see what he's got. The Cruelty of Gix can go away. Bye-bye. Mossbeard Ancient swinging in seems good. Let's do that. Oh! Triggers off his discard as well, by the way. Lose 2 life. Well, let's submit a Vine Wall. Can lose that. That's fine. Yes, I didn't read the Raven Man, so if a player discarded a card. So it doesn't have to be forcing your opponent to discard deck. It can be draw and discard type stuff happening. Okay, I'm going to play this. And he's got 6 power. Oh, right, he's going to be able to kill this with a combination of stuff, and I think it's fine. It's a good trade. He probably, I bet he'd like to use. Yeah, he should Lightning Strike Snare Spinner. That gets to 3/4. Then he blocks with everything, and they all trade for Mossbeard Ancient, right? No, he's going to do Lightning Strike on Mossbeard Ancient. Okay. Maybe he's got something else for the Snare Spinner. So now it's, oh, he's got loads of fuel for this, so he's drawing probably 3 cards off these birds. I'd say momentum in his favour at the moment. I will play a swamp. I've established that he's doing a bit of discard stuff. How about 1 Deathbloom Gardener swinging in? Because, you know, his life total's not that healthy at the moment. Ooh, he had a removal spell. Okay, well, he's got me there. I am going to have to just take 4 damage from this. He did top deck a nice removal spell. Looks like Snare Spinner probably the right choice to reanimate at the moment, holding off these three ravens. Feel like I can't hold on to any cards. I'm just gonna play my cards at that and defend. And he can draw these extra cards, which could definitely help him a lot. It's gaining a life point each time as well. Okay, there we go. That is a big deal. That wins the game quite quickly. You can pump it to 4/4 very easily as well. Okay, and there goes my Death Toucher because he drew a removal spell as well. Big creature plus removal spell. So he just wins now. But yeah, the number of times in the draft, gibbering barricade came up and I ignored it. It's not seeming like a great decision at the moment. So now are we just dead? Maybe. Do I play this forest? Let's hold the forest. I think we've got enough stuff. Well, interesting game. We managed to get rid of Cruelty of Gix from his with the Pilfer. That was a very good hit for Pilfer. He had a lot of removal. He had better card advantage than me, it's fair to say. So, yeah, we just have to chomp block here. Writhing Necromass. Nice. And we'll draw another land. 7, 8, 9 land. This game. A couple in the graveyard that I discarded. So we had 11 of our 17 lands. There's 6 land left in 19 cards. So 11 land in 21. Just over 50% land. So it's not ridiculously bad. It's just a bit bad. But yeah, some nice rares. I mean, well, Ravenman's he's not bad. He's okay, I think. Cruelty of Gix is a good one. There's the crucial decision making, because I did use 2 discard cards on him. I got rid of the Knight that stops life gain instead of Ravenman, because I was thinking I was going to get my Mossbeard Ancient. I wanted to gain 5 life off it. Maybe it was the right decision. Hard to say. But obviously we saw he got 3 Ravens off his Ravenman and was able to sacrifice them for cards later. But that's not the kind of thing you're going to foresee, I think, very easily. Okay. I think I'm happy with the deck setup. There are definite targets for cut down. I think I'd need to play it. But this one has no swamps. I'm going first. I don't get to draw that extra card. I've just got Tear Asunder and World Spell. So it's kind of like a 4-card hand. And this only kills artifacts and enchantments right now until I get black mana. I think this is a clear mulligan, I would say. We could think, you know, hope we draw one of the 9 swamps. We could gamble, but we're on 2 losses. I think let's do a conservative mulligan. Well, it's almost the opposite. It's all swamps now, but we have Cruelty of Gix in the opening hand. We may be able to play it on turn 5. I think we just ship the Vine Wall because we have no green mana. It's that simple. And we're going to stake everything on getting Cruelty of Gix turn 5 and hope that wins us the game. Snare Spinner, but no green mana. Combat Research, literally one of the worst possible openings to face, I think. When you've got Snare Spinner in hand and no green mana, and the removal spell that needs another creature. Oh dear. Well, this game's already over, I think. Well. Okay, Swamp. Relic of Legends. And we can play Snare Spinner now. And just fingers crossed he didn't draw a removal spell in those million cards he just drew. Well, the 2 extra cards. Above and beyond what he would usually get. Okay, it's stunned. I can still sacrifice it next turn. Wrath, Weatherlight, Stalwart. So, let's recap. Whenever you cast instant sorcery, you can tap 2 untapped creatures and draw a card. It's another card draw engine. It's not as... I don't think it's not as horrendous as Pixie Illusionist with Combat Research. So this is... Luckily, this isn't legendary. Okay. So, he's tapped out. Let's do our Cruelty of Gix. Do step 1 of Cruelty of Gix. Let's see what he's got. Okay. Big creatures are in the offing here. So that's 3/4 for 5 he could do next turn. And that's 4/4 for 6 he could do in 2 turns. In fact, yeah, he's got, obviously we can see the land in his hand. He can definitely do that next turn. Djinn of the Fountain's annoying to deal with. So the argument is you get rid of that because it's... we won't be able to kill it with anything as soon as it arrives. But this is going to buy me more time, just getting rid of the Acolyte now. Bone Splinters on the Illusionist is just completely necessary, I think. Let's sacrifice that. But we've still got Djinn of the Fountain on turn 6 to deal with. We could, of course... Oh, he can, yeah, do a bunch of stuff. And he can draw another card, because he's got another card draw engine. Right, that's his 6 mana. So... Oh, and he's got Combat Research on there. Okay. Oh boy. Well... 5, 6, 7. So, I'm thinking... Could do World Spell here, just to get some value of my own. But killing Wrath... I mean, it's a card draw engine in 2 different ways. I'll have nothing for Djinn of the Fountain next turn, but I'll just have to top deck something. It's a bit more... Oh, and we could Pilfer Djinn of the Fountain, by the way. View battlefield. He do, yeah, cut down doesn't work on him. Let's do a Tear Asunder. Did I make a mistake there? Because this exiles. I want to reanimate something. Oh, I can get a Shallai's Acolyte. Okay. It's not good enough to block his 4/4 though. I wonder if you're allowed to kick it when you reanimate it. Well, we'll find out soon enough. This has Ward 1. Let's do that. Yes. And looks like we'll just probably die to Djinn of the Fountain now, unfortunately, but... Right, Shallai's Acolyte, will we be able to kick it, is the question. No, it's as you cast the spell you can kick it. So I don't think I will be allowed to do that. That doesn't trade. So, yeah, Shallai's Acolyte will do, I guess. The thing I wasn't thinking about was Djinn of the Fountain could potentially trade with a block a 3/4 Shallai's Acolyte. Right, do I need to hold any mana? Do I need... Okay, let's just play out Bog Badger. I'm not gonna use the menace thing. Just get another body on the board. Sure, joint exploration. But yeah, this is an example of a deck where you want that cut down. So, think still good decision to include the cut down. Okay, he has another copy of this guy. Fair enough. I mean, he's an uncommon. I guess we are racing because there's no point blocking this guy. But it's surprisingly complicated decisions you have to make with Cruelty of Gix. Well, not that surprising because you've got your entire library to search. But the choice, maybe just we should have swung for the fences, gone for the world spell, and hoped to hit some really good things. He can kill me just by cast. No, obviously he's got all the birds. Yeah, fair enough. No attacks. Good game. Looks like we're finishing at 1 and 3 this time. It's 1 win better than the previous attempt, at least. Oh yeah, and he has this hidden ability of just pumping the entire team as well, which is always nice. There's also, he could have, if I didn't get rid of Shallai's Acolyte, he could always kick it later to make it a 5/6 flyer. But yeah, drawing those 2 extra cards from combat research, I think was pretty decisive for him there. And then even more, it drew him into even more card draw. He drew a card off Wrath, Weatherlight dude. Okay, well, interesting decisions I had to make in the deck. So I thought I'll go for a bunch of ramp cards and try and cast the World Spell and Mossbeard Ancient. But also Cruelty of Gix we actually saw quite a few times and was pretty good. But it just wasn't enough. Yeah, so in that last game, I just had to go for that removal spell. Tear Asunder, because he had another huge card draw outlet I had to take down. I could have tried to play World Spell and dig for big creatures and things. Maybe that would have worked, but probably not. Yeah, so hard to see how I would have won that game. I think, basically not having cut down in the opening hand was why I lost there. But yeah, I think good decision bringing in cut down and Pilfer. We dropped Cult Conscript and Salvage Mana Worker. I don't think we missed these cards. I think that seemed quite a reasonable decision. I managed to cast the World Spell in game 1, so the ramping plan kind of worked. It means your deck's a little bit short on board presence. You've got something like Relic of Legends is just mana. It's like an 18th land, but the trade-off is you're thinking, well, I'm getting these bigger spells a bit more consistently and a bit earlier, and it's going to make the difference. What was the other controversial thing I left out? The Phyrexian Vivisector has Scry 1. Yeah, that could probably help quite a bit. I think we drew quite a few excess lands in at least one of the games. Bit of extra scry could have been nice, but what do you drop for it is the question. I think you end up dropping some of your interaction or some of your ramp for it. And I decided I was a ramp deck, so yeah. So we won a game against blue red. So that's funnily enough the deck I went 0-3 with, because I had a problem with Elfhame Wurm. He was able to bounce it back to my hand, and we actually had removal for his small flyer, I think. Yeah, I think we just got a much stronger board state. I think we might have played Mossbeard Ancient, in fact. The other games, the first game was against the Defender deck, where we lost to Coral Colony. We got milled out, and he had Sheoldred as well, which we managed to kill and reanimate on our side of the board, and it just didn't matter. The mill card was decisive, and the misplay, I think, I killed Coral Colony a little bit too early, because his deck was absolutely chock-a-block with raised dead effects. He actually had one in play that was literally about to go off, so that's a complete misplay. Should have waited at least a turn, taken I would have got milled for 5, but then I should have killed it and sort of forced him to draw another raised dead effect. And it was a close-ish game, because his life total was getting chipped away by Sheoldred, and I had flyers as well, so yeah, it could have made the difference there. We just lost to sort of blue-white card draw, because we had a bit of a slow start, and he had one of the fastest starts possible. 1/1 fly into combat research, which is just a nightmare. And the other game I lost, I've forgotten now. I've already forgotten it. There was a black-red deck. We actually got rid of his Cruelty of Gix with possibly with Pilfer, and I used my Cruelty of Gix to get rid of a knight, but he still had the Raven Man, and that was a close game, and it came down to him having gibbering barricade to sacrifice his bird tokens, and he drew into more removal, more threats, and I just drew land. But yeah, It wasn't because I drew land that I lost. It's that he had a superior late game with more card draw. This is another bit of a gap that I've got in the deck. I guess the value I'm relying on these sagas for value. World Spell, Cruelty of Gix. There's not much card draw at all. There's Phyrexian Rager. That's about it. So, and I've got Cult Conscript I can bring back, but other than that, there's not a huge amount of value in the deck. Card draw kind of effects. So that is another thing I'm missing a little bit. Maybe I need to value gibbering barricade a bit more because I did see it several times in the draft. Anyway, I think that is pretty much it. That's a video. Let's claim our prize here. Oh, we're so lucky. We got 2 more packs. So I had 2 terrible drafts in a row, but I managed to get 2 packs each time. So there's a bit of a consolation prize. Let's look now. We're up to 107. Very nice. Anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching.